fact, Maninder Dhaliwal was a very active member of this gang, but Satendra Gill has newly just joined this company. And in fact, now the police is further investigating the gang. These kind of gang war is nothing new in the Canada, especially in the Vancouver. Just because one gang is Brothers Keepers gang, that is the gang of the Punjabis who are settled down in Canada, and there are so many rival gangs who deal in a similar drug trafficking. So that is the reason. But now, Shravan, police is further investigating the case, that who all are behind this killing and how much rivalry is going on, and in fact they are also trying to track down the gang members also.
Well,
Yes,
in fact, we
Shravan.
are also getting some more breaking news coming in. Amandeep, the information that you've also put out a short while back, full details of Maninder Singh Dhaliwal and Satinder Gill, who was shot dead in Canada, which appears to be a gang war. Some more details coming in, that Dhaliwal's older brother Harb was shot to death in a coal harbour on 17th of April 2021. Dhaliwal was a member of the Brothers Keepers gang that deals with drugs. It does appear that they were part of a drug cartel operating out of Canada.
Well, absolutely, Shravan, absolutely. Basically, this Brothers Keeper gang is basically famous who deals with the drug trafficking, and they are facing several cases. And important aspect is that earlier the gang members, including Amandeep Singh Kang and several others, they all basically originally and based in Punjab, and presently they have been settled in the Canada and running this gang. And they all are the similar gang members and have their own rivalry in the Vancouver also. And Dhaliwal's brother Harb, who was shot dead, he was also an active member of the Brothers Keepers gang. So all the Punjabi youth, they are trying to engage into this gang. This gang is basically known for the drug trafficking in Canada, especially in the Vancouver. And this gang rivalry is very much common in that area, just because there are certain other gangs who are also indulged into the drug trafficking trade in Canada. In fact, Canada police have full history of this gang, having certain kind of cases against them, and all of the cases are regarding the drug trafficking. Maninder Dhaliwal basically from the Moga in Punjab, and in fact Satinder Dhaliwal is, I beg to pardon, Satinder Gill was also basically belongs to Punjab. They both have been settled down in Canada. They get in touch with their brother Harb, and later on they turned to be the member of the Brothers Keeper gang and started doing the drug trafficking in Canada. So that is the reason this gang rivalry turned to be the killing of two Punjabi origin Canadians. And in fact now the further police is investigating this entire matter, that who is the gang behind the killing of these two youth.
Well, one quick question before I let you go, because we're getting in some more details right now. In terms of the network that was basically operational in Canada, who are the other members who are part of it, and whether at all, Amandeep, your sources within the Punjab police, whether they have been activated, is there anything more that you're picking up? Because it does appear that this is part of a larger cartel which has been in existence for quite some time.
Well, absolutely, Shravan. It was almost a year back when a huge drug cache was seized in Canada, and certain Punjabis has been arrested on that drug trafficking case. And from that point, Punjab police turned active, that there are certain cases that has been registered in Punjab also regarding this drug trafficking and drug peddling also. And even now they are trying to find out the leads, that is there any connection with the Canada to Punjab, that drug is being smuggled from Canada to Punjab, right, or to Punjab from Punjab to Canada. This investigation is under process actually, Shravan, just because Punjabis who were basically from Punjab, they have been shifted their base to Canada, and again they indulge into the drug trafficking case. So the investigation is still underway, Shravan. Yes.
Thank you very much, Amandeep, for getting us this big exclusive story that no other news network is covering. Once again, getting you full details of this gang war that has taken place in Vancouver. We'll be getting you more details perhaps in a short while from now. Let's move on to the other big story that we are getting for you tonight on This Is Exclusive. A story that we've been tracking right from day one. We've been way ahead than all news network, getting you all the videos, documents. Now, there's been an update in the West Bengal recruitment scam. We've accessed documents pertaining to this entire investigation. ED has essentially said that during the searches, they have come across documents. Mind you, documents that are pertaining to a joint property of Partha Chatterjee and Orpita Mukherjee. Let's put that out. Breaking news now coming in with regards to this joint property. What is this joint property all about? And now the link between Partha Chatterjee and Orpita Mukherjee seems to have been established by the Enforcement Directorate. In fact, let's just take you through some of the details that I'm getting, and then perhaps we'll also go across to my colleagues in a short while from now. The latest details that I'm being told coming in right now with this entire investigation that's been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. One, they're saying that there is a clear link that is emerging right now. The link essentially being about a joint property. What I'm picking up is that this property was essentially bought by Partha Chatterjee back in 2012. Let's put those details out. A property of Partha Chatterjee and Orpita Mukherjee bought in the year 2012. Orpita, in fact, during her questioning has also accepted that the cash belongs to Partha. Let's put that out. Big admission made by Orpita in the Enforcement Directorate custody. She has admitted that the cash that was recovered from her residence, about 21 crore rupees, she says belongs to the minister. Let's move to the other breaking news now coming in. The money, in fact, was planned to be infused in companies that are linked to Orpita Mukherjee. So what you see right now, let's also, in a short while from now, we'll show you that entire recovery that's been made. 21 crore rupees recovered from Orpita Mukherjee's residence. What was it being used? How was it supposed to be utilized? We are being told that the money was planned to be infused in companies linked to Orpita Mukherjee. And in fact, what's very interesting, the timing of these searches, because there was a tip-off that was received by the Enforcement Directorate that this money could have been utilized for some other purpose and may not have been stocked at her residence. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate says that the cash amount was planned to be moved out of her house in a day or two. Within a day or two, the money that you saw, that the Enforcement Directorate recovered from Orpita Mukherjee's residence, would have been taken out. And that is the reason why, in a swift action taken by the Enforcement Directorate, they ensured that this money that was kept with Orpita Mukherjee is caught red-handed. And not just that, let's take a look at some of the details that are coming in with regards to this joint property of Partha Chatterjee and Orpita Mukherjee bought back in 2012. Let me go across to my colleague Priyanka Sharma, who's been tracking the story very closely. Priyanka, we're getting in some big breaking news, and undoubtedly this is going to make things extremely difficult for the former education minister. Top sources confirming to Republic TV that there is a property angle that has emerged, a property jointly bought back in 2012 in the name of Partha Chatterjee and Orpita Mukherjee. So for those who say that there is no link, what is the link between Partha Chatterjee and Orpita Mukherjee? Once again, we are getting full details. Once again, the only network getting you every single detail of the Bengal SSC recruitment scam. Over to you, Priyanka.
Well, absolutely, Shravan. You have, pointed out some of the most important points and the documents as well that you have accessed and put out for our viewers right now about the joint property that has been talked about. Let's talk about that in the context of the court hearing that is going on right behind me in the Special PMLA court. And in that itself, the Enforcement Directorate had also mentioned about these documents and had stated that there is a clear link between Orpita and Partha Chatterjee as well, because earlier we had seen that Partha Chatterjee had been trying to distance himself from Orpita, but to that we have seen that the Enforcement Directorate had also said these things in the court, that there was a property that had been, there are documents of properties where in fact where Partha Chatterjee and Orpita both's name are signed in that document as well. Apart from that, of course, we are seeing that yesterday In the Partha Chatterjee's remand application as well, we had seen that the Enforcement Directorate had stated that there is a constant communication between Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, and also that there had been several phone calls that had been made. There are a lot of financial trails as well that they are investigating regarding these two accused in this entire matter. So all of that has come unraveling as far as the the entire investigation of the Enforcement Directorate is also concerned. The legal arguments being presented before the court. Right behind me at the PMLA court, where Arpita has also been produced. Now in that we are seeing that the arguments with respect to how Arpita had been involved in this entire matter are also being made with respect to how she had been functioning for the misappropriation of fund, for the dubious financial transactions with Partha Chatterjee. So that is being said by the Enforcement Directorate itself, and of course they have stated the earlier facts about Partha Chatterjee and how he was being evasive, how he had not been cooperating. But apart from that, we have seen phone call conversations, the phone calls that had been made between Partha and Arpita that have also been mentioned inside of the courtroom, where they have said that these people had been in constant communication, they had been in cahoots when it comes to the entire dubious financial transactions that were being carried out. And of course, we have seen the kind of investigation being carried out with respect to the cash. You pointed it out completely right as far as this cash is concerned as well, Shravan, because we were learning about from our sources as well that the cash was expected to be moved, and if there had been some delay in the kind of raids that were being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate, the cash might have not even been there. So there was a level of urgency when it comes to the kind of investigation that the Enforcement Directorate is carrying out in this, and that really counters the point that has been made inside of the courtroom by Partha Chatterjee's lawyer as well. They have stated that there is absolutely no evidence and that there was no urgency as such about Partha Chatterjee to be brought into custody, and that this is a High Court mandated investigation that is being carried out, and which is why there cannot be any arrest as of now. These are the arguments that have been presented, and of course now we are also seeing that S.V. Raju is inside the courtroom and he is also arguing. We are seeing how Arpita in fact has been implicated in this entire matter, and of course trouble mounting for Partha Chatterjee from that link of Arpita Mukherjee as well. I'm
sorry, Priyanka, I had to interrupt you because there is a document that I've just received a short while back, and it gives full details of the properties that have allegedly been amassed by the former education minister, and many would be shocked. I'm going to read this out and perhaps we can put this out on our grid also. Some of the details that are coming in, they are saying that in this document that I've accessed, Priyanka, I'd also like to send it across to you so that you can also show it to our viewers. Take a look at this, where they are saying, it is revealed from the complaint that Partha Chatterjee amassed huge properties at Mauza Kirota, Block Pingla, West Midnapur in the name of BCM International School. It's BCM International School English Medium, which is being looked after by Krishna Chandra Adhikari, maternal uncle of Partha Chatterjee, son-in-law. That the inputs received also indicated towards the laundering of the proceeds of crime through one Arpita Mukherjee, who is a close associate of Partha Chatterjee. Now, this turns out that there were schools, there were large properties that were basically being amassed. If I can also bring in our colleagues from the Republic newsroom, Bangla newsroom, for more details on this, and also perhaps Priyanka in a short while from now. But Ishandeb, who's joining us from Republic Bangla newsroom. Ishandeb, big news coming in right now. We've got top sources within the Enforcement Directorate confirming that yes, they've come across a joint property. A property of Arpita and Partha Chatterjee bought back in 2012. Priyanka has already elucidated on as far as this part is concerned. What I want you to focus right now and tell our viewers is the political angle that's basically emerging. What's really happening within the Trinamool camp right now? Mamata Banerjee coming out and saying that, look here, I'm not going to shield anyone. Net, that's what it appears, what Mamata is basically trying to indicate. And not taking any names, but it clearly looks like Partha does not enjoy the kind of support that he did at one point in time within the party.
Exactly. So actually, this is being what Mamata Banerjee has said a few minutes ago from the dais of Bango Samman Award. Mamata Banerjee has said that if anyone is associated with any kind of crime, then he has to take the responsibility of that, and Trinamool will not interfere with the course of the law, and Trinamool will not support anyone if anyone is really associated with the crime. But at the same time, she has fumed out against the quote-unquote media trial. She has said that the court has not reached to any kind of conclusion right now. The investigations are going on, and within this a media trial has started, and she has the opposition is saying that Mamata Banerjee has tried to justify a kind of corruption in some of her comments also, because she has said that if 100 people gets recruitment in something, and if there is some allegation of corruption regarding 1 out of 100, then that is not something abnormal, because she has said that even in media people do such nepotism 1 out of 100. So opposition is now saying that the chief minister, from the position of a chief minister, from the position of a leader like Mamata Banerjee, no one can make any such comment which justifies even a morsel of corruption in these recruitment processes. But at the same time, as you were saying, that Mamata Banerjee is trying to distance herself. She is not supporting Partha Chatterjee openly, and she has said that if anyone has made any crime, then he has to take the responsibility. Law will take its own course, and she will not support, she will not interfere. So Partha Chatterjee is not enjoying full-fledged support from Mamata Banerjee or from his party. This is clear.
News also
but
now.
at the same time, against associating her name with this thing.
In fact, let's just put out this breaking
news
news now coming in. The order has now been reserved. Priyanka, if I can just take a quick word from you. Latest details. Let's just put out. That's a breaking news coming in. Order has been reserved. Priyanka, just quickly take our viewers through it.
Well, yes, let's quickly round up what's exactly happened inside of the courtroom, because we have seen the legal arguments being presented from Partha Chatterjee, from Arpita, and of course from the Enforcement Directorate, who has said that there have been direct links between Partha Chatterjee and Arpita as well, and that the cash that had been seized from her residence cannot be dismissed as only hers, and that she has also, as you very rightly pointed out, that she had also in the Enforcement Directorate's custody had accepted that the cash belonged to Partha Chatterjee. So that has been mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate, and of course there are several points that have been mentioned inside of the courtroom, where they have stated that this is just the tip of the iceberg, that there has to be a further investigation, and that is why they are seeking remand of Partha Chatterjee, of Arpita as well. And they have also stated that the grounds for seeking remand of Arpita are the same as the grounds that they had sought remand for Partha Chatterjee as well. So they have said that they want 14 days of remand, and of course as of now the order has been reserved. In a few minutes from now, Shavan, the picture would be a lot more clearer as to how the investigation will go further, since whether or not ED will get the custody of Partha and Arpita is something that will be determined.
Well, thank you very much, Priyanka and Ishandev, for getting us the latest details. We'll come back with more details as far as this case is concerned.
Mountains of cash, piles of evidence, but TMC does not act.
आज तक जो लोग सीबीआई ईडी का विरोध कर रहे थे, आज उनका इंक्वायरी जल्दी हो ये सब बोल रहे हैं। क्या अधिकार है उनका, जिससे बंगाल के लोग अभी तक दुखी थे, पीड़ित थे कि यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार चरम पर है, कोई न्याय नहीं हो रहा है, उनको कम से कम न्याय मिलेगा।
Does the Bengal cash scam begin and end with Partha? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
reading allows us to become familiar with ourselves.
We don't read, we won't know what is knowledge.
I just find it very interesting to know people's lives, how they went through certain situations, how they dealt with things.
So wherever you want to go in life, if you read books along those lines, then that would really help you in growing.
Reading could mean a million different things to every individual. What does it mean to you? Visit readindia.info to find out more.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.